Welcome back to the podcast. And if you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. I'm Sarah. I'm so happy to have you here. And it's probably a really good episode for you to jump on first because I'm doing a little bit of a Q&A of sorts, but more of like a get to know me. And it's not questions from the people, from you guys. It's questions from, I have this deck of cards. They're really cute. They've got the lemons on them if you're watching the video. They're so cute. I got this deck of, I think they're called Table Talk cards from Officeworks like 2 months ago for my live podcast event. Just some like little conversation starters just to help the girls get to know each other a little bit, which wild. I just realized today's the 15th of October and that event was 2 months ago, which is crazy. 17th of August was my podcast event. It literally still feels like yesterday. But anyway, that episode, if you feel like giving it a listen, was also a Q&A, but that was from the girls that were there in front of me. And there was a few of these table talk questions in there as well. So what I've done is I've just gone through the deck. There's 40 cards in there. We are not doing 40 questions today. And I just quickly went through them all. And then I put aside some ones that I was like, these look cool. And then I instantly put some to the other side that I was like, they're just like not even it, like boring, or like I just literally couldn't even like think of anything. And the point of this is like I still want it to be like a little bit of a surprise. So I've narrowed it down to, I think I've got 11 here because I think I had 10, but then there was another one that I was like, it's a quick answer, but it's like a good conversation starter. So I think I've got 11 here. And then I've shuffled them again, and I also haven't looked at them in like 20 minutes. So I don't know what's going to come up first, but I just thought we would just do a little bit of fun question, answer, get to know me kind of vibe. I suck at thinking of questions to ask people. Like I can yap, but I'm not really good at like thinking about like new, fresh, exciting things to ask. So if you guys have any questions, as nosy as it can be, chuck it down in the comments below, and then I'll do another Q&A because I think it's a lot of fun when I just get to sit here and just chat shit and answer some questions. So anyway, I'm going to flip the first one over. I fear I'm going to drop these everywhere. They're really thick, so they feel like a lot. Okay, first one, nice and easy. If money was not an object and you could move anywhere on the planet, where would you live? And now this one, like, money is not an object. Money, not an object. I think that's like, isn't like an objection. I don't know. Money is not the object. It kind of is, but like it's not really right now. But I would live in Canada. It's somewhere that I've always wanted to go. I have a couple of friends that are living there at the moment. It looks so cool. And something that's really, really interesting as well is Mitch actually also, I once said to Mitch, right, I had never said anywhere about living overseas. I've said like I'd love to move interstate, but I've never said anything about moving overseas. And I said to him, like, oh, if I was to move interstate, like, would you want to come with me, like, for work or whatever? And he literally goes, if I'm going to leave Victoria, I'd love to go, like, overseas. And I was like, wow. I was like, now you're talking. And I was like, all right, tell me, like, what is the first place in your head? And he was like, Canada. And I was like, well, that's so weird because, like, Canada or Bali, I know they're very, like, vast differences, but, like, they're just both up there for places to live. And I don't know why. I've been to Bali, but I've never been to Canada. I just feel like it just looks gorgeous, and like the summer and the winter both look gorgeous, and it just seems like a fun place to be. Turns out Mitch actually has also had some friends that have done some like working, what are they called? Like they went over there and worked for like 6 months and then they came back. And I'm like, that would be cool. Like even if I only did that, like I just think it would be, I don't know, a bit of an experience. So I would love to do that one day. So yeah, where would I live? I would go live in Canada. Like I said, I've never been to Canada, and obviously Canada's quite big. So I just assume like Whistler side, but I don't really know specifically where. Next question is, what's on high rotation in your playlist at the moment? I am so rogue. I don't really have a playlist. And that's my issue as a gym, like a group fitness instructor, is I need to play some upbeat tunes. So my main playlist at the moment is literally called B-Day Playlist. My birthday's on the 6th of February. So it's been like 8 months, over 8 months. And I made a playlist that I wanted to play when I had my friends over. And it was just like songs we know, but like really like upbeat versions of it, like remixes of them. Like it's actually like a fun time. I think it goes for 4 or 5 hours. And I have been playing that on repeat in the studio for my classes, my PTs and everything since February. So for like 8 or 9 months. And I still, to this day, get comments on this playlist saying like, I love the vibe you're bringing today, Sarah. Like, I love how much fun we're having, like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like, I will add, like, as new songs come up, I'll add them. I'll take some away that I'm really freaking over. But I just use the same playlist and like that's incredible. So that's what I use when I'm training clients. It's also just easy because it's a bit of a taste for everyone. I'm just thinking currently I'm listening to like when I'm working and I just need something a little bit different. I have been listening to Tay Tay's new album only because Opalite. And now if I'm not going to say why, but if you know, the lyrics in that relate to my favorite book series ever. And I know there's a question here about a book, so I'm gonna park that there. But Opalite, if you know, just relates so much. And I'm like, So that's why I started listening to it because I was like, just feel like something different. I'm not really a Tay Tay fan. I was obsessed when I was younger, but I couldn't even tell you her recent albums. I know she's had a few, I don't know, there's lots of stuff going on. What I learn from like my friends that listen to her, and I don't have a lot of those. So I don't know much, but Tay Tay's on there. And then I always love to do an audiobook, like usually the audiobook of the book that I'm reading, but my audiobook at the moment is actually the Shut the Fuck Up Method, which it's a self-development book. I think it only goes for 4 hours. Like it's very quick. And it's been very interesting. I'm only halfway, so I can't really give a full opinion on it, but it's been very interesting as someone who has already delved into the self-development world and who is very aware of a lot of things, but still has a lot of work to do. So I'm really, really liking that one. Yeah. Anyway, next question. These cards are so thick. It is so hard to turn them over. You were allowed a free pass to date anyone, past or present. Who do you choose and why? And I actually have 2 people for this. First one is Tom Holland. And I don't know, I'm just going to leave that there. I just feel like Tom Holland he is who he is. And then also, for my AFL girls, Isaac Heaney. I don't know what it is. I think they both kind of have similarities to me. Like, I've not met either of them, but I just feel like they just seem like really nice guys, really just like, I don't know, would do so much for you, but like, they would really like push you and they would really, what's the word? Like egg you on like a good way of like, I don't know, I just feel like you could really grow as a human with them, but they also seem so nice and they're also so cute. And I don't know, both of them, Tom Holland and Isaac Heaney, they just seem to be my 2 that I would go for. And I fear Mitch would agree, so, I mean, there's that. Just love it. I think I would actually put Isaac above Tom. I don't know what it is about Isaac Heaney. I just love him. I love him. Next one. What are you afraid of and why? So this one get a little bit deeper. I'm afraid of death, obviously. And the reason I bring that up is because I'm like, things that I feel like I'm afraid of in my life, not everything relates to death, but it's like of doing like certain activities, I'm like, it's because I'm afraid of dying. And not in a sense of like, I think I'm about to die, but like in a sense of like, I could, or it's dangerous, or I know I could. So like even thinking back to my whole skiing, snowboarding incidents, I have this absolute fear in me that I'm going to die. Like this little mountain that I'm going down on my skis, it's not even like this little hill that's not even that big. And I'm like, I'm about to die. And I'm not. I know I'm not. Logically, like it would have to take something very unfortunate for me to die on this little freaking tiny slope. But it's just the fear of it all, the fear of like losing control and then something happens. And you know what? People have died on the mountains. That's what happens, unfortunately. I don't really have much more to say on that. But what's interesting is the book that I'm reading, The Shut the Fuck Up Method, he is literally says like the people who are afraid of death never really live. And I'm like, whoa. Like he said it a few times so far. And I'm like, that's actually really true. But I think you also have to play into that of like, where does that work for you in your life? Like for me, I've tried the skiing, I've tried the snowboarding. Like I don't think I care enough about it to want to die. Do you know what I mean? Like, not that I want to die, but it's like I don't care enough about it. Like, sure, I'll probably try again because I'm just not a quitter, but it's just not like top of the list of things I want to do. So I'm like, I don't really care enough about living for it, if that makes sense. Like, I can live in other ways. So yeah, that one got a little bit deeper. Next question. Oh, this is the very easy one. Pineapple on pizza. Abso-fucking-lutely, yes. I'm a pineapple on pizza. Put pineapple on my Subway. Give me all the pickles. Give me all the olives. I will have all of that. I love the like sourness of it all. And I'm just like, oh, just chuck it all on there. Put extra. I'm like, I'll get pineapple. I know I'm just talking about pizza, but I was like, I'm thinking about the Subway now. I will get pineapple and I'll get pickles and I'll chuck extra of both. And they're like, that's going to cost extra. I'm like, I don't care. I want it. So I just freaking love pineapple. Yum, yummy, yummy, yummy. Always love pineapple. And on a Parma, okay? A pineapple on a Parma. Abso-fucking-lutely. That is how I grew up living. Our homemade Parmas always put pineapple on it. So if you're not putting pineapple, I'm afraid that I don't know if we can be friends because it's just upsetting. Next question. If your day was rubbish, what do you do? How do you reset your mood? So this one is very interesting because as someone who is very self-aware, like I said, really done a lot of self-development, I can not pull myself out of a bad mood quickly, but I can very easily acknowledge when a mood is coming on or something has affected me in some kind of way. And I can acknowledge it and like, yes, I feel it and I try and feel the emotions as much as I can because that's something I've learned as an adult. I used to really suppress my emotions and it absolutely cooked me. It would absolutely catch up to me and then I just would go into like a panic attack or like just like something not good. So I really try and feel the emotions when I need to. My biggest release, like stress release, anxiety release, like anything is crying. Like I just need a big, good sob. And then I might be okay. Like 9 times out of 10, I'm okay after that. So anyway, the question is, how do I reset my mood? So like I said, I'm very good at acknowledging when something is feeling off, doesn't feel good, I feel a bit stressed, whatever. So I would tend to do something that makes me feel happy, but doesn't push me physically. So what I mean by that is I often find that like, and this is so true, like, you know, going to the gym or going for a run, you know, they're amazing for your physical and mental health, but they're pushing the body in a way of like physically exerting me because I will push. Like I'm a push. I just thought of that. Like I think it's Mean Girls. It's like, I'm a pusher, Katie. I'm going to push. So that was my thought. I push myself like that. And oh my God, now I'm into the Mean Girls thing and I've totally lost it. I'm a pusher. I'll push myself. Oh yeah, and I'll physically exert myself, and I'll also be thinking about whatever the problem is whilst I'm doing it. So I find that can often like send me again into like a big cry or like just make me feel a bit like shit and stuff. I know it works for a lot of people, and as a PT, you'd think it would work for me, but that's just not my thing. So for me, I really like to do something that I really enjoy doing, whether it's, you know, having a fun drink and watching my favorite TV show, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I'm obsessed. Whether it's having a read, I love reading. You know, just being able to kind of get into like another world without like dwelling too much on what has happened or what has caused this mood. Like just really being able to do something that I enjoy. Maybe it's having a bath. I haven't really had a bath lately. I was in the hot springs on the weekend, so that was fun. Maybe it's doing some skincare. Maybe it is like, you know, when you just feel really gross and you have a really nice long hot shower, wash your hair, like do all of that. That sometimes really, really helps. So just like resetting my mood is just what's something I enjoy, what's something I can do, even like if it's only for like 20, 30 minutes, like how can I reset? And those are my go-to things. Some people, it might be like gardening. Like I could think of nothing fucking worse, to be honest, than gardening. But yeah, it could be gardening. It could be painting. It could be whatever the hell you want to do. But highly recommend finding something that like you just love and then doing that because it will just fix your mood instantly. How many is that so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got a couple more, and I was like, I won't talk too long, but I fear I'm talking for a while. This one, recommend a book and why we should all read it. So my favorite series of all time is the Empyrean series. So the first one is Fourth Wing, then you've got Iron Flame, and then you've got Onyx Storm. There are still 2 more books to come in this series, but the first 3 are phenomenal, and I cannot really pinpoint exactly what it is. And I think because yes, it's fantasy, there's dragons, there's magic, there's that kind of thing. But there's also the romantic side of it, but not in a way of like yuck, like disgusting or like, she needs help or like she's a damsel in distress or he's a damsel in distress, whatever, however you say it. But I just think it's a really, really cool series of like everyone is really, all the characters are unique in their own way. And the author literally said this, like the main character, she has, I can never say it, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, EDS. So she has that, right? So like she's painted to be this quite like frail, what's the word? I was going to say brittle, but I'm like, you can't say brittle to describe a person. Anyway, the point is she's portrayed as this really like frail human and like, she won't survive the year at school and she won't, be able to get strong and she won't be able to use her power and like, like all these things. And I think it's really cool to see her evolution, but not only her evolution, but the evolution of all the characters around her as well. The main male character, Zayden, I should just use names because it's just fucking easier. So Zayden and Violet, like, and it's really cool because like they have a relationship, but yes, there's like, people call it smart. It's not fucking smart. You literally get like 2 chapters of smart in like 60 something chapters. So it's really not smart. Because truthfully, that's why I started reading it. I was like, okay, like I'll just give it a shot. It was just such a hype that I was like, I'll just give it a go and see what happens. And I just fell in love with it to the point that I'm like, I've read it a few times, which I never in a million years would expect to read a book like this multiple times. And I'm like, when I've hit my book goal for the year, I'm going to go and read it again. I don't know what it is. Like, it's so well written and the characters are just like, they've all got their, like I said, their unique flair and like, yes, it's very serious and there's death and things like that. But I'm like, it's also can be so lighthearted and like, it's always something different and like there's these twists and turns and it's just so much fun. It's not too serious. Like I read Akatar first and I like Fourth Wing fucking shits all over it. Like people just go on and on about Akatar and I'm like, yeah, it was fun, but I don't really care to read it again. I might read Silver Flames again, but again, because Silver Flames, that's the 5th one. Silver Flames had a lot of smut in it. I was like, that was really good. But I'm like, I don't really care to read the rest of it again. I don't know. That's just how I feel. I just think Fourth Wing is so much better. There's just a bit more joy. It's not as hard to read, like not as much to think about. And I just, yeah, for someone like me who just likes an easy read, highly recommend. And every time I recommend this series and I recommend this first book, Fourth Wing, I always feel nervous because I'm like, what if this person doesn't like it as much as me? But every single person I've recommended it to has freaking loved it. And then they've passed it on to their friends and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, we're starting something because it's so good. So highly recommend if you haven't read it, just give it a shot. That's all I did. I did it on the Kindle because I'm like, the book is quite big. So I do it on the Kindle so then it doesn't feel so scary to read. And so much fun. Like I just love it so much. And I actually, like I'm just obsessed. Like when I read Onyx Storm earlier this year when it came out, I literally it was about a month before I could start reading a new book and I struggled to start a new book. Like I listened to it on audiobook when I was packing, I was moving all the things and like I just struggled to listen and read anything else. So I fucking love that series. I'm obsessed with it. Anyway, next question is a food one. What is your signature dish and will you divulge your secret ingredient? So I don't really have a signature dish, truthfully. I have a few dishes I love. I'm just thinking, was there another question on my favorite meal at the moment? There might be. We'll see. My signature dish that I would say that I kind of make all the time, but it's very easy. So I literally just I grab the broccoli bake from Aldi. I grab some Spud Light and then I get like a fun meat. So whether it's like a flavored pork steak, because we shop at Aldi, so it's a flavored pork steak. Maybe it's prosciutto wrapped chicken breast. It has like a sun-dried tomato stuffing or something, or like a Kiev, or like chicken breast, like marinated chicken breast steaks. Like grabbing a fun kind of meat, and that is what I would call my signature dish. Only because I put it on Instagram like once a week. Like I cook it all the time. But the secret to it, the secret of why this is my signature dish is because it's so fucking easy. I literally chop up my potatoes, spray a little bit of, like I'll line a baking tray with baking paper, spray a little bit of olive oil, and then I'll put on some garlic, salt, and some mixed herbs, shake it all up, put it in the oven, then chuck my broccoli bake into another oven-proof dish, chuck that in the oven, and then usually after 20 minutes, depending on what meat I'm cooking, the Kievs and the prosciutto chicken, they need to go in pretty much straight away. Or if it's my pork steak, it's like after 20 minutes, then they go in. And it just all cooks in the oven. So then all I have to do is clean my chopping board and my knife, and it just cooks on its own for 40 minutes, and then dinner's ready. Like it is so, so easy. And I fear I've life hacked it because I only cook once a week. So that's generally what I'm cooking. And I used to love being in the kitchen. I used to love, 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 love it. But that was when I feel like I wasn't so busy. And I try and get in there more. I try and do more because I want to bring more recipes and more, fun, easy, yummy, high protein, low cost recipes to my clients and to, Instagram and like everything like that. And my TikTok and stuff. But it's so dependent on my week and my creativity levels and just all the things. So that is my go-to, usually a Monday night dinner. So it's a really, really good start to the week. This week we had Kievs with it. Actually, no, we had salad instead of, it was a bit different this week. Instead of broccoli bake, we actually had a pre-mixed salad that I'd bought the day before and I had leftover of. And then I just baked the potato in the microwave. So it was, again, nice and easy. Kiev went in the oven, potato went in the microwave, the salad was already done. Like, I'm just like, I'm the queen of easy. So that's my favorite. When was the last time you laughed until you cried and why? So this story is so, like, it's not funny. Like, you guys think this is going to be like, that's not even funny. But at the time, it was pretty funny and I was laughing pretty hard. So last Wednesday night, Mitch and I went to his parents' place for dinner. And so it was me, him, both his parents, and then his sister was there too. And his mum really loves to like do a dessert when we're coming over for dinner. And she'd bought these waffles and she was so excited about these waffles. And there's like 4 of us around the table and then like she's off cooking the waffles and like she was so excited. She'd come over and like give us a waffle each and then she's like, okay, like now we're going to make it. And like she's like, this is how we make it. And then like she would grab the maple syrup and chuck it on and then she's like, all right, who wants ice cream? And like we were like popping things on and like she melted some chocolate so we could drizzle on top, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the whole point is like she was really excited going back and forth and we're just like sitting at the table and like it's just always very lighthearted, really fun conversation with his family anyway. They're just a lot of fun. Anyway, someone literally was, I can't remember who it was like, oh, maybe it was his sister, was like, so what makes it a Belgian waffle? Like, why is this a Belgian waffle? And like, we're all just kind of sitting there and like we started eating whatever. And his mum's in the kitchen and she's just doing her thing and she's like, oh, like once you put chocolate on it, then it becomes Belgian. And like, it wasn't even... It was just, she said it so nonchalantly that I like tried not to react because I was like, hang on, what? Like I was trying to like process it in my head. Mitch didn't even say anything, which Mitch and his dad, like they're like 2Ps. Like they're really fucking funny, those two. And like me and his mum are very like not ditzy, but like we'll just say something and not really think about it and they'll always call it out. And then like Mitch and his dad didn't say anything. So then in my head I was like, hang on, like, what is that? Like, is that a thing? I don't know. And then his sister just kind of looked up and looked like past me because like I was kind of in between her and her mum. And she was like, what? The chocolate makes it Belgian. And then it was just like, again, it's not funny right now, but I was crying because it was just like the way I just kind of watched everyone and like tried to process it in my head. And I was like, Belgian makes it chocolate. Like I was like, I mean, chocolate makes it Belgian. I was like, that is like, it was really, really funny. And I just started crying because me and his sister just like, we were just pissing ourselves because we were just like, what do you mean? Like the chocolate makes it Belgian? Like, and even like saying this right now on the podcast, I'm like, is it a thing? I'm like, am I really silly? Like, I really don't know, but it was so funny at the time. It was also like 9 p.m. So I was probably really, really tired because I usually work late on a Tuesday. I probably sleep like 5 hours and I'm up early for work on a Wednesday and I go back to back. Oop, drop my card. I go back to back with clients. So I was probably exhausted by this point. But yeah, it was really, really funny and I was crying. Like I couldn't stop. Like I had to keep wiping my face. I was like, I can't stop crying. And it was I got in one of those movies where I'm like, I can't stop laughing. You know, when like you just laugh so much and then like someone could say like hi and then you would just piss yourself. It was one of those. So don't even know why, but it was really funny at the time. All right, I think this is second last one is describe your most guilty pleasure. And for me, listening to Disney or spending the whole day in my dressing gown. Like, I wish I was in my dressing gown right now. Like, I get home and I just want to have a shower and get in my dressing gown all day, every day. I love it. It's cozy. It's so much fun. And I don't because I have to record a podcast or record stories or like I don't want to be the person that's always in a dressing gown because I'm like, what am I doing? I should be dressed and I should be a normal functioning human. But all I want to do is be in my dressing gown all day, every day. And I'm so sad when I can't have it. Like when we went to, where did we go on the weekend? Down to Blackgowrie and I'm like, I didn't bring it. And I'm like, that's upsetting. Although my pajamas, my 2 pairs of pajamas that I rotate through, so comfy, so soft that like that really made up for it. And the fact my Uggs, I'm like, can I put my leg up on this podcast? I don't know if you'll see it. My Uggs, they're probably dirty. I wear them all the time. All the time, just whenever I can. If it's not been raining, I'll wear them everywhere. I'm like, not as in like out to like gym and stuff, but like if we're going to like a parent's houses, I'll bring them. When I'm walking around this house, I'll wear them. I just want to always be in them. My Uggs, my dressing gown, I love them so much. So much. Sorry, I just burped if you heard that in the microphone. Describing my guilty pleasure. Yeah, and the other thing is listening to Disney. I fucking froth listening to Camp Rock, Hannah Montana, High School Musical. I'm like, sometimes that's on rotation in my playlist. And I love it. I love it. Sometimes I'll just play that when I'm training in the gym because I'm like, it just kind of makes me like, again, if I feel like I'm getting a bit serious, life's getting a bit serious or I'm making things serious myself, it kind of brings me back down to earth and it makes me get like, it's a bit like inner child stuff. So I love listening to it because it just kind of calms me down in a way of like, it's okay, Sarah, like life isn't that serious. So like, let's have some fun. So they're probably my most guilty pleasures. And then I have no idea what this last one's going to be. I'm very excited. It's really not that good. What was the last series you binge streamed and why? So I just watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine on repeat. That can kind of go into like my guilty pleasures because it's not really guilty though. Like people know I do it. I watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine on repeat. Like on repeat. It is my show that if I need to do something around the house or if I'm cooking or if I'm eating, like I would just have it in my ears. I don't even have to watch it. I'll just have it in my ears. I love it so much. It is so funny. It can just play in the background and I don't even have to think about it. It is so good. I love it so much. If there's any other Brooklyn Nine-Nine fans, comment below, but I guarantee you've not watched it as many times as I have. Like I will finish, and I think it's the way they finished the last season. They finished it so well that I have to go back to the start every time. And then I'm back at the start and I'm like, oh, well, may as well watch it again. Like I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But another thing that Mitch and I actually just watched earlier this week was, because I'm just thinking about my Netflix and all I ever see on there is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But the other thing that's been on there is the Fit for TV. I think that's what it's called. It's like the Biggest Loser documentary thing they did on Netflix. It's only 3 episodes. That was so interesting. Because I obviously work in the health and fitness space and I was like, I really want to watch this. And I had clients say to me like, Sarah, you should watch it. It's really interesting. And obviously like The Biggest Loser was for the views, but this documentary is also for the views. So it's like you can take what you will from both sides of it. Obviously seeing more into it and like hearing from the doctor. Because to me, I'm like thinking back watching it when I was a kid, I'm like, I don't even remember there being a doctor on there. I just remember watching it and like seeing people weigh in and they'd had lost heaps of weight and like it was just such a big show. And, I knew that they weren't eating enough and they were exercising stupid hours. And like, especially me now, I'm like, they were always going to put that weight back on because that's what they talked about, was like putting the weight back on. You could probably liken it to bodybuilders. Again, I don't really know much about bodybuilders, but like they have to diet so hard that when they have their day or two of eating after their show, they'll generally like obviously put a little bit back on because they've been so depleted. So that's what I kind of think of. But it's really interesting because obviously it's the American one. I didn't watch the American one growing up. I definitely saw bits of it because I always knew about Jillian and Bob, but I obviously watched the Australian one more. But it's just interesting, like having the doctor on there and like his point of view on things and how he was saying that, he spoke to like the producers and they didn't want to listen to him and the trainers didn't want to listen to him because the trainers get a big fat fucking paycheck for whoever wins. So they're trying to push the contestants as much as they can, which again, I probably knew at the time, but like I didn't really think about it. And the doctor's going against the grain, trying to get, he's like, I didn't know about certain challenges and then this girl almost died. And then it's like, I'm trying to get them to eat a minimum of 12 or 1,500 calories, but they're saying, no, my trainer wants me to only eat 800. And it's like, it's just so crazy and so wacky of like it's a show, but back when I was watching it, like I knew nothing about like how TV shows worked, how reality TV worked, like the behind the scenes of it all. And like, it was just really, really interesting. And whilst most of them looked amazing at the end, I don't know if they canned it in America. There was some girl in there that like had lost a lot of weight, like a lot of weight. And she was so tiny that even the trainers were like shocked at that like at the finale when she walked through the thing. There's like footage of them literally like going to clap and then being like, hang on, like that's like, she's really dangerously. And what they were doing was dangerous already, but they were like, oh, she's really like dangerously, skinny. So anyway, I just think that was an interesting watch. Would highly recommend giving it a watch if you haven't. Like I said, it's only literally 3 episodes, maybe 40 minutes. I can't remember how long they were. We were watching them while eating dinner, so I want to say 30, 40 minutes, something like that. Really easy watch, but it's really eye-opening to see the behind the scenes of stuff and like, health and fitness and the knowledge and strength training and food and everything has come such a long way since then that it's just really cool to see that, like, especially the doctor. I was really liking the doctor. I was like, he clearly, knew more than what I've known, like, just like general doctors around the area to know. So that's a bit controversial, but it is what it is. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there. I have been speaking, oh my God, over 30 minutes. I did not expect myself to talk for that long. So I'm going to wrap it up here. If you guys enjoyed this episode, if you want another Q&A type vibe, I might like put it out to my Instagram or TikTok or wherever, just to get some questions in on the podcast, or you can leave some down below and then I can add it to like a little like list of questions to answer next time. Make them as nosy as you want. You can send me a DM on Instagram, make it as nosy as you want, anything you want to know. I just think it's really, really fun. But like I said at the start, like I'm not really good at thinking of the questions. I even Googled some and I was like, oh, they're kind of like just a bit so-and-so, whatever. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, a bit of a different episode, but if you want to see more, let me know. If you have any specific episode requests, any guest requests, then absolutely let me know. Either comment below or send me a DM on Insta. And yeah. I'm going to leave it here. I will speak to you guys in next week's episode. Bye.